safe place. Yes, it's safe. Oh, so I can tell you anything and you won't tell anybody. You said, yes, this is confidential, but I have to explain to you what confidentiality means. The confidentiality we are offering, correct, Linda? Linda, can you stop me anytime?
No, correct.
Okay, so confidentiality that we are offering is absolute confidential. Everything is kept confidential. There might be some notes taken, but there will be no name. Okay, and the notes won't have any names. Perhaps only a number, and that is accessible if you want. You also say yes, it is confidential. Nobody outside this room will know of anything we discuss here. It is a legal requirement to keep this confidential because of my professional ethics. They can take you to court. In UK, US is very serious. The moment you break confidentiality, they strike you out of the professional board. So the board that I am, every month I open up, I see all the names of the councillors who for 1 year, sometimes 3 years cannot practice because they have been struck out. It's very serious, okay? So you can say then, but however, there are some limitation to this, or there are some exceptions. Number one, if there is a harm to yourself or harm to others, I will have to negotiate confidentiality or may have to break in order to get you the best help when needed or when in emergency. Okay, you can say that. Best help. Okay. Number two, you can say I need to contact authorities to get you the best help. Number two, if there is a legal situation where it is against the police, the legal legislation of the country, for example, fraud, money laundering, anything that becomes a criminal case, that could be a police case like sexual abuse. If there is a court mandated, court requirement and a police investigation, then I would have to break confidentiality because no one is above law. Okay? Number three, you can say yes.
Break means the counsellor will report the case to the police.
The counsellor won't report unless there is a danger, but the police can call you. The police can come and say, I understand you have tried. Yes, but if somebody is threatening to harm somebody, of course you have to make a police report. Not a police report, but inform. You know when you, okay, I didn't tell you this. When the client registers with you, you have a card. You take the client's phone number, you take the emergency contact number, you take next of kin, you take all these numbers before they register with you for the first session. So you will say, if there is an event where you might kill yourself, I may have to contact your next of kin, or I may have to contact ambulance or whatever. Depends on the seriousness of the situation. So you have to say I break confidentiality first, because right now there's too many scenarios. I can't explain. Just say break confidentiality. Okay? I may have to contact authorities, maybe even family members, to help you. Number two, if there is a criminal case and police come knocking on the door, of course I have to break confidentiality. Number three, if police legal requirement, yeah, that's about it. Three, minor, if it involves a child and a child's safety is in dispute, then I would have to make a police report.
So the counsellor will only take the initiative to make a police report when she deems there's a harm to others.
Somebody else, yes. Yes. Okay. Now, have you all taken all that down? counselor required to go to court? Yes. Sometimes they call you. Like I had a client where he was driving and he was driving under alcohol and his passenger died on the spot and he was speeding. No, counselors cannot say no.
Also must go to the court if required.
Must go. So I had to go to court to speak that client who killed his best friend, because it was a negligent, it was a criminal thing that he drove with alcohol, alcohol, he was driving fast and his friend died on the spot. So the family members took up a court case also.
Sorry, Shamini.
Yeah.
There are some similarities between counselors and our counselors and all, but there are some which is a bit different as well, isn't it?
Yes.
Like, for instance, we can't make reports on, of course we can write things down, but we cannot make the assumption that it is an abuse. For instance, I'm saying, okay, if I see bruises on a person and all that.
Yes.
That's the difference, right?
Yes, you cannot. What you do is you write a letter stating that, and the person who comes with the child or whatever will have to go and make a police report.
Yeah, okay, that is right.
Because if you have a child services, like somebody comes and says, I'm a child, I'm being raped, then you it's very difficult. You got to go and see a doctor, get a letter, and then you got to go make a report. The counselor takes on that role sometimes, Okay, let's go to the next part. You are going to contract now. Okay, so I say now, you asked me to sit down, you've already talked to me about what is counseling. Now I want to ask Mei. Yes, can you hear me, dear? You're the counselor, I'm the client. Mei, can you open your mic? Okay, Mei. So this session is all confidential, is it? So everything I say to you is kept confidential.
Yes. So, these are actually confidential. Because this section we only meant to talk to with you, and no outsider will know unless there is limitation of confidential. For instance, like you try to kill yourself, where legal requirement exists, or you want to hurt yourself or threaten somebody else, then I have no choice but to ask somebody to help us.
Okay, Mei, I think I put you on a spot there. Maybe you need to write down first. Everybody, can you write down? If not, because you have to think offhand, right? A bit dangerous. Now, maybe when I say now, you take down number 1, okay? Number 1, you can say everything you say in this room, in this session, is kept confidential. Okay? There might be some notes, but there will be no name. The notes are to help me work with you, okay? But the notes are kept confidential, yes. I may have to discuss your case with the supervisor, my supervisor. My supervisor is not here to know about you, but is here to see how I work with you. So when I share the case or details of the case with my supervisor, I will not mention your name. Your identity will be kept identity will be kept confidential. However, there are instances where we have to renegotiate confidentiality or in some cases I will have to break the confidentiality. Number one, if there is a harm to yourself or to others. Number two, when there is a legal requirement, I think it's understood legal requirement, you know, it's against the law. Legal requirement and information is needed by the police, okay? Or the court. And number three, you can say when there are minors involved, children involved, or vulnerable minors involved. Okay? Other than that, everything is kept strictly confidential. Now, while you are thinking, I want to show you a YouTube on how confidentiality is being done. Now, you will notice in this session, they will sit the chair 45 degrees. Okay, now, I am sitting on a sofa. I don't know if I can show you. Usually, the IKEA chairs are used really well. Okay, you see IKEA chair? Now, the IKEA chairs usually are used very well, but you can have any chair. A chair with some pillows, and then you can have a sofa or another chair. Okay, and the angle is 45 degrees. The angle is 45 degrees. Do you know why it's 45 degrees? What happens if they are face to face?
Confrontational.
Confrontational. 45 degrees is very comfortable. And in the room, they usually have a table because sometimes two in a room is very stressful. So they usually have a table or some plants, or they have tissue, some water on the table. Because it's like a triangle, it's easy. It reduces the stress. So the client doesn't feel stressed. Now, triangle is the best. So client sometimes 45 degrees, and then you put a plant here or anything there on the table, it takes away the complete confrontational. No table. You see any counseling session with table, maybe it's CBT, REBT, because they teach you. Okay, a CBT, REBT person is a teacher. Okay, now let me see your chat. Somebody's put a chat there.
Probably CBT, RBT, they have a whiteboard on a black.
Yes, they have a whiteboard, a table, they got a computer, they more like a class. Okay, currently I'm doing CBT for somebody from UK, and I feel like I'm very much like a teacher. She insists that she wants CBT, and she wants me to help her change her irrational thought. Now, CBT, RBT, usually people who are highly intelligent, they don't like this talking emotion. They want research. They want things that challenge their cognitive. So they like CBT, RBT. Okay, now, see this tape? Well, let me show you this tape. Beginning contracting.
Okay, it's really nice to meet you, and I wonder if you want to say something about what's brought you here.
again you're here? She said, I've never been to anything like this before and I've got a lot of family problems.
I just wondered how does this work?
Okay.
She asked, how does this work?
Fundamentally, this is a safe space just for you.
That in itself just feels weird. Who else will know what we talk about here?
Okay, I mean, this is totally confidential. So, okay, I can see that's feeling a little unusual too.
It's an endgame concept to my family.
This can only work if it's completely confidential. So the only time that that would be broken is if I sensed that you or someone else was at risk. I'll have to do something appropriate, but I'm here to support you.
Okay. And how many sessions will it take?
I'll certainly make some suggestions, which I hope will be helpful. But fundamentally, it's your choice what you sign up for, your choice when you finish, your choice what you do or not do.
So will you be able to sort me out?
I can certainly help you make sense of your concerns. Hopefully get some insight into what's happening there and develop more confidence in being able to deal with it. So that's something we can certainly work through together if you wanted to.
So are you going to ask me how I'm feeling about stuff?
Yes, I am interested in what concerns you, and I am interested in how you feel. Although, I guess noticing your question there, I'm curious as to whether other people have been interested in how you feel.
Okay. Now, did you see how nervous she was at the beginning? Did she ask, I don't know what is this is counseling? And she said, can this be kept confidential? And she shook her head because she needs reassurance. Now, he didn't do the thing about legal, he didn't think about the minor, he didn't do all that, but it's good to do. Now, I'll show you another one quickly before you do. Okay, stop this one. I'll show you. This one is my crowd. This is my people, okay? They are like me, MBCP. Hold on. But they are British Association Psychotherapy. Let me see if I can get this. Ah, yes. Contracting and ending. Okay.
Hello, you're Jenny. Hi. Hi, I'm Donald. It's nice to meet you. So I see that you spent some time with my colleague, and you wanted to come along with some counselling around a breakup of a relationship.
Yeah, I've been in a relationship with man for 25 years. And I'm just unhappy.
Yeah, 25 years is a very long time. Okay, well, for this session we have just about half an hour. So I wonder how it seems to you that if maybe I'll tell you a bit about what goes on here, how we could work together should you choose to take up the counselling, and then we'll get more of an idea of what's going on for you, and then perhaps see how we could move forward if you choose.
Okay. That sounds, good.
Okay. Well, the first thing that I want to assure you is that I am a member of a professional body. My body is the British Association for Counselling and Psychotherapy. And we have an ethical framework which really is a set of ethical guidelines and principles that underpin our work. And it's stuff like making sure that your best interest is at the heart of everything we do. So we're not looking for what I might feel is the best way forward for you, but helping you to find the best way that's forward for you.
That sounds reasonable, yeah.
And as part of that ethical framework, there's the notion of everything being in confidence or confidentiality. So whatever would be said here would stay here between you and I. Now there are two possible exceptions to that. And the first one is that if I believe that you or any other person was at risk of serious harm, then I would have to disclose that to a third party.
I think that's fair enough. That's it. I can't, just going to go out and murder people or,
Right,
yes, yes.
so that's it's okay.
Yeah, that's fine. Yeah.
And of course, I have a legal duty of care where children are concerned or vulnerable adults. Yeah.
Yes, yes. So if I tell you or if I know of children that are being hurt and I mention that to you, you need to do something with it. Yeah.
So that seems
Yeah, fair enough. Yeah.
The other exception is that, and again, it sits under our ethical framework. I have something called supervision. All counsellors have to have supervision. A very young term. It's used in a different way in counselling than it might be out there in the world. Literally, it means that I talk through my work with another experienced therapist. And really, it's for the benefit of people I work with, in a way to get a fresh perspective, get a fresh pair of eyes. Sometimes it might be hard to see the trees for the wood, or the wood for the trees. But again, that is also covered by the same confidentiality agreement as any work that you and I might do with anybody is covered by. But also, we don't identify people in any way. So if I were to talk about the work we're doing, I wouldn't use your name or your address or your details. Identify.
Okay.
Yeah, that's
that kind of that makes sense. Yeah, I feel
Okay, are you all ready? Are you all ready to talk about confidentiality? Now, follow my confidentiality, which is what I use, the 3. Okay? Follow that confidentiality. Now, you are going to start with knocking. Then you are going to say, come sit down in, please. And then you are going to say, I don't know anything about counseling. Can you tell me about counseling? And then you say, oh, this is a safe place. And let them say, oh, is this going to be kept confidential? And that's when you start confidentiality. Is that okay, everybody? Okay. Now, I shall put you all in groups now. I don't know whether you'll be in the same groups.